Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Hello and welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. Today we are going to talk about why just eating healthy isn't enough to lose weight. If you ever wondered, and were so frustrated that you feel like you eat healthy consistently, most of the time, that you only eat quote unquote clean foods, you barely ever eat anything that comes in a wrapper, you limit your processed foods, everything that you eat either walked on land or swam in the ocean or grew from the ground, and you're just so confused that you're eating super healthy and you're not losing weight and you're very frustrated. Today we're going to talk about why that might be. So first things first, we need to first address your relationship with food, and even using the verbiage, if you are someone who labels food as clean, it's equally as unhelpful as when you label food as quote unquote good or bad. Good or bad makes you feel like you're a good or bad person for eating a certain way or not. The way that you eat does not dictate, if you're a good or a bad person. We know that there are some healthier foods than others, but a healthy diet is truly a balanced diet, and there's no need to label food that way, especially when you put food on a pedestal or you consider it bad. You sometimes want more of it. And so the same thing goes for if you're saying I only eat clean, then in your mind, you feel like some foods are dirty. The only dirty foods are foods that you have not washed, right? Or that are rotten or spoiled. So I think that's always important too, because if you don't have the right language, it probably means that your mindset around food is somewhat jaded and there's some healing there. And without that, then you could eat super healthy, but you're probably not engaging in the healthiest behaviors, or you're not as consistent as you think you are. Now, with that said, healthy eating is a very, very strong base. So if you are consistently eating foods that are, a lot of fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, things like legumes, nuts, and seeds, and you really, truly do eat more whole foods than you do processed foods. It's okay to eat some things that are processed. It's a lot of convenient items, right? Things that come in a wrapper, there's a room for that. But with that said, if the majority of what you eat is consistently healthy food, and now you're frustrated you're not losing weight, I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so when it comes to, if you just listen to the more recent episode, I had an interview with my friend Andres, Desi, and Alex. They're all registered dietitians like myself, and we kind of talked about is it really calories in versus calories out? So when it comes to weight loss, there is a law of thermodynamics that in order for you to lose weight, you need to take in less calories than your body burns. So that is a basic concept. And when you eat nutrient-dense foods that are high-quality foods that are high in fiber and protein, they are going to make you feel fuller for longer. So it's going to be easier for you to adhere to that calorie deficit. Now, the amount that you are in that deficit will vary. But all that to say that you can definitely be healthy whether you lose weight or not if you're eating healthy foods and engaging in healthy behaviors. But if you have a goal of losing weight and it's more of an aesthetic goal, then you do need to take in less calories than your body burns in order for you to really see that happen. Okay. Now, the reason why you're probably, not losing weight, but you're eating super healthy is because you're just not actively paying attention to how much food you are consuming. And things might either be, you might be not in that calorie deficit, and things you're picking here and there. You don't realize how much food you're eating, or you could also be, super stressed out. Maybe your diet is super stressful. Maybe you're eating well, but you're not taking care of your sleep. So you're not sleeping enough. So your caloric expenditure, you're not really burning as many calories as you think you are because you're not resting, and your body then, your demands for rest increase, but you're not doing that, and then in that case your body is going to slow down its metabolism to compensate, especially if you're sometimes under fueling. Believe it or not, I know it sounds counterintuitive because we're talking about being in a calorie deficit, but if you're eating so little calories that your metabolism has almost adapted to that, then you have to do something, kind of spike it up to change it. And that's where the composition of the foods that you consume actually matter. So maybe working with a dietitian on my team, for example, we can really teach you that, okay, you're eating healthy, balanced food. That's amazing. But now how much protein do you need every day? How many carbohydrates do you need every day? How much healthy fats do you need each day? How much fiber do you need each day? And we need to cater it more specifically to your individual needs based off of your height, your weight, your activity level, your total, we can't really calculate exactly, but how much energy you're expending. Those are all going to be things that are going to help us tell you what your specific needs are and give you an appropriate target to help you be consistent. Because most of the time, although you might be a very healthy eater, and I believe you, there's the inconsistencies that we really don't realize, that when we're kind of living a very fast-paced life and we're not truly being mindful eaters, which we teach you how to be a mindful eater in the program, then you almost don't even realize all of the things that you're not doing to make this goal really, really challenging and not achievable. So when you work with a dietitian on our team, they will really comb through everything that you're currently eating and give you very specific instructions and recommendations based off of your individual needs to create a plan that's structured, flexible, and individualized to you and your lifestyle. And so that's something that, I used to be the one that did the majority of the coaching. Now my dietitians are helping because it's such a great thing. Now we can reach more people. And I wanted to create something that was going to help you be able to reach your goals, but also in a healthy way and also in a sustainable way. Believe it or not, weight loss actually isn't very hard. People lose tons of weight all the time, but keeping it off, that's the hardest part, right? So in the 6-month Food Freedom Coaching Program, not only will we help you lose the weight, but we'll help you keep it off with you never feeling deprived and making sure that you're eating foods that you enjoy and that you like, and that are easy to prepare and, you feel really good about. We also teach you how to maybe incorporate some of those foods that you really do like, but you haven't been eating because you consider them kind of either dirty or bad or off limits. We teach you how to incorporate them. And surprisingly, you might be surprised that the more you actually incorporate those things, the more satisfied you'll be, the more consistent you'll be, and then you won't feel like you're raiding the cabinets, right? I've talked about this before, but if you're new to the podcast, you might not have known that at one point in my journey, I struggled with what's called orthorexia, and it's this general obsession of eating super, super healthy food. So I also talk about it in my book, which by the way is now available on Amazon, Once Upon a Diet. I'll leave the link in the show notes. I talk about it in my book. At one point, I basically was only eating like vegetables and hummus because I had somehow told myself that it was a good idea to be a gluten-free vegan, which if you're familiar with the gluten-free diet or the vegan diet, it's very limited by themselves, and then you put them together and it's like you got barely anything to eat, right? So I would often go to parties where there wouldn't be any options for me, right? So I would have, whatever was there, like a salad, just the lettuce, right? And then I'd come home and I'd still be hungry, but my brain, I was like full because I ate like a lot of, carrots and hummus, right? Or a lot of salad, or a lot of whatever was available to me. So I was physically full, but psychologically I was craving more. And also my body on a physical level as well, although it was physically full with calories, the nutrients weren't balanced. So it was like, I didn't really get what I wanted. I didn't really get what I needed, right? I needed more protein, or I needed more, B vitamins, or I needed more something that was going to make me feel like, okay, I'm good, right? And so all that to say, long story short, like I would just raid the cabinets, but I was raiding the cabinets of quote unquote healthier choices. But if I would have just allowed myself to have something that was maybe less healthy, like if I allowed myself to have the cookies, right? Or I allowed myself to have, the cheese on the pasta or whatever it was, I probably would have felt more satisfied and not have looked to raid the cabinets on a consistent basis, because I always wanted more and more and more. And it's because I just wasn't eating balanced. And so I was eating healthy, right? Things that come from, plants, like the vegan-based diet is healthy food. It's fruits and vegetables, right? And beans and legumes, right? So nuts and seeds, right? They're very healthy, but it wasn't well-rounded and it wasn't balanced and it didn't satisfy me. And so therefore I overcompensated. And so in general, I was healthy. The food I was eating was healthy, but my mindset clearly wasn't healthy. And I was not losing weight. That's also the other thing too. Like my whole mindset behind it when it was so skewed was like, oh, I hope I lose weight doing this because it was so restrictive. I almost had to, right? You restrict all the food groups that you could possibly eat. Obviously, you're going to have very limited choices. And so you would think that would help you to lose weight. And for some people it does, but in the long run, we know what happens. You end up gaining it back. But in this case, I wasn't even losing weight. It just was very restrictive for no reason. So all that to say, you can eat a very healthy, balanced diet and have a very healthy body, meaning like your metabolic profile. You could decrease your risk for pre-diabetes, decrease your risk for diabetes, decrease your risk for high cholesterol, decrease your risk for certain cancers. There's lots that you can do on a healthy standpoint when just by eating a balanced, nutrient-dense, rich diet, which I encourage everybody to take that very first step. So if you're not familiar with my Healthy Livings Foundations course, which by the way, it used to be $247. Now I decided, I don't know, something in my heart was like, just make it easy for people to do it. It's literally only $97. So you go to www.tipswithtony.com/courses. You take the course. It takes you about 4 weeks to complete. And in 4 weeks, you will have that solid foundation. And honestly, you may even lose some weight if it's appropriate for you and if that's a goal. And so it will just give you very informative ideas and inspiration. It'll help you kind of shift your mindset. It'll teach you about macronutrients. It'll teach you how to build your plate. It'll give you ideas for different ways to track your food. We talk about navigating social situations, meal prep basics, managing emotional eating, committing to a physical activity plan that works for you, and learning how to set boundaries. And so that Healthy Livings Foundations course is a really, really great first step, and it will help you to become an overall more balanced, healthy eater, which is always the first thing that we want to do. Then from there, if you feel like you want more and you need more accountability, you need more structure, more flexibility, more specifics to your goals, and then having a more targeted approach to weight loss, we will help you do that with the understanding, like meaning me and any dietitian that you work with on my team, we will help you do that with the understanding, knowing that your weight, the number on the scale, does not determine your health, right? So it's also not the main focus. So we will help you to create healthier behaviors. We'll give you more specifics on how to structure your meals based off of what you're currently eating. So we'll meet you where you're at. And we'll teach you and encourage you to engage in those behaviors outside of healthy eating that help kind of move the needle. So we'll focus on your sleep. We'll focus on hydration. We'll focus on the type of physical activity. We'll focus on stress management. And we'll focus on just overall creating a healthy, I don't even want to use the word healthy, but creating a environment, I want to say, to help you thrive. So learning how to set boundaries, communicate with loved ones, and really just get you into a place where you're not on a diet or you're not on a plan or following a program, but more so you're just becoming a healthier, happier version of yourself. And you do it over the course of 6 months. And in those 6 months, you learn a ton, and you learn more specifically what you need to do to be the better version of you so you never have to diet again. Right? So that's ultimately what the 6 months to Food Freedom Coaching Program looks like. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. If you just want some foundational things to just help you to eat a little bit healthier, maybe a little bit more balanced, learn a little bit more. So maybe you already are eating healthy, but you're still kind of struggling with, I don't know why I'm not losing the weight. The course might be a good place to start. It might just give you some ideas, some structure. It might tell you that one thing that just clicks and you're like, oh, I get it. You implement that and now things start to move for you, right? So that you go to www.tipswithtony.com/courses. With that said, that's kind of like you do it yourself, kind of on your own. And there's really no guarantees, and I can't really even make guarantees if you work with us one-to-one, but we have a lot more accountability, a lot more control in the one-to-one program to be able to help shift the needle and move the needle for you. So with that said, if you want to just kind of do the course on your own, www.tipswithtony.com/courses is kind of where you go to get started. Now, if you really just want to move the needle quickly and just figure out what you need for you, and then also be able to work on those weight loss goals, then you need about 6 months to do it, right? We've had many years of unhealthy behaviors and unhealthy eating habits. And so it's going to take some time. It's going to definitely take more than 4 weeks, right? To really be able to not only heal your relationship with food, but create a flexible plan and then help you to create those supportive habits so that you can continue on that plan far after working with a dietitian on my team, right? So if you kind of just want to get your feet wet and get started, do the course, tipswithtony.com/courses. And if you are interested in working with a dietitian one-to-one and to really get to the root of, why you emotionally eat, what's kind of getting in your way, and you really want somebody to support you, to guide you, to be with you, pretty consistently, mostly, I don't want to say constantly, we're human and we need to sleep, but being there with you. A lot of people who have graduated before have said it's like having a dietitian in your pocket. If you're struggling, you get your one-to-one calls on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. But if you're struggling in between, you don't have to wait for your follow-up call with your dietitian to get your questions answered. You just simply go into the app that comes with the program, you send them a message, and they help walk you through. So if you're going to a restaurant that you've never been to before and you're feeling a little anxious about what to order, just send the menu to your dietitian and they'll help kind of go over with you what they think is a best thing for you to order based off of your goals and your individual needs, right? So that's just one really cool benefit. Both the course and the one-to-one coaching come with a free app where you get to take unlimited food logging pictures, so pictures of your food. And I'm like putting my hand down because Chloe's about to jump up on this couch right now. So you guys, as I'm recording this podcast, I'm also doing a live in my Healthy Lifestyle support group, a free support group on Facebook. So you guys, some of you are like, I'm talking to you, I'm looking at you, you can see me. But anyways, so what was I saying? So anyways, the brand Tips with Tony website just got a whole new makeover, so go check it out. If you're interested in the course, go to the courses tab, and if you want to work with us one-on-one, go to the coaching tab and fill out the application. So the coaching process, there is an application process to work with us one-on-one. If you just want to do the course, you go and you sign in there, and I'll say hi to you in there, and we'll get you started. All right. So that's really it. So just to recap, eating healthy is great. Eating balanced is better. Eating balanced consistently, even better. Whether you have a weight loss goal or not, healthy eating will help you be, healthier in the long run. But if you do have a weight loss goal, we can help you get there. You're just going to need a little bit more structure, a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more consistency, and support. That's it. So that is it for me today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.